Greetings, Novians, and welcome to our 10th episode of Ask Aphelia, a NovaCourt Q&A where we answer your dual universe gameplay questions. Let's dive right in and get started. Question 1. Why will we be able to sell schematic copies if they are unlimited to buy from Aphelia?
So schematics take time and quantity to copy, and as such, you can indeed get as many of them as you want. However, it will take time and is not an immediate thing. As such, if you need more schematics than you can create, it's possible to purchase them from other players.
Question 2. When a machine runs out of schematics, does it become jammed or stopped?
When insufficient schematics are available at the end of a run, the selected recipe does not change in the industry unit, and it will become jammed, and should simply resume as per normal when supplied with new schematics once more. The industry unit will display a red error message stating no schematics left if it doesn't have sufficient schematics for its task.
Question 3. Is it possible to have an API with industry to figure out how many products it needs with the talents applied?
First of all, it's important to note that the addition of the new schematics will also bring changes to the Lua API for industries. However, I will be clear on the subject of the missing inputs. This is extremely sensitive data. By simply adding this, players could totally automate their industries, and that's not what we want. However, schematics v2 will bring some gameplay changes, which could potentially make us revisit this point. We will monitor usage to see if the addition is now feasible or not. But I prefer not to make any promise, and for the moment it's not possible.
Question 4. When we start the game from fresh, we can only start on Haven, even though we used to start on Sanctuary. Why is this, and will we ever be able to select Sanctuary again?
When we were creating the new FTW, we realized that we couldn't use Sanctuary as a player's landing point because Sanctuary has bodies of water and some very steep hills on the sides of mountains. Neither of these things are conducive to a pleasant landing and therefore not a very good introduction to the game. So we decided to create a brand new planet specifically designed for the new FTW. We did discuss the idea of being able to pick something on Sanctuary as well, but we would have needed to add a new feature to the territory picker, which would disallow the player from choosing a certain territory that's in a body of water or on a steep hill, and we didn't have the bandwidth to do that. If Haven starts filling up, we might consider opening up Sanctuary for landings, but for the near future, that will not be possible.
Question 5. Where can a player post a community event? Why, thank you for asking. You can place an advertisement post in the official Discord in the community ads section under the events channel. However, keep in mind, the channel is role restricted. You may need to contact one of our Discord mods to ensure proper access to post in this channel. Question 6. Do you have plans to improve the Lua container API to get the content?
Well, I can already tell you that it has been revised. Indeed, with the Mercury update, a big revamp of the Lua API took place, bringing many changes and improvements. Among them, we have changed the behavior for the acquisition of container content, as the old behavior was not the most suitable for both us and the players. Now you will have a minimum delay of 30 seconds between two requests. In addition, the time left before the next request will be returned, and the content returned will now be in form of an item ID and quantity table. These changes are intended to give you more flexibility, better performance, and also reduce the server request spikes.
Question 7. Which industries are the most common ones?
Right now, we have a total of almost 4 million deployed industries in the game. The three most common ones being the metalwork industries, which represent 650,000 units. Then we have the refiners industries, which are 570,000 units deployed. The electronics with 470,000 units deployed. And then the rarest one are the industry rare extra large assembly units with 327 units deployed.
Question 8. Do you plan to add those schematics in Rec to create some interest in going out in space?
Due to the nature of the new schematics being consumable, it is indeed very likely we will start adding them to Rex and as rewards or winnable items in events in future. As they're not the most valuable items in Dual Universe anymore and they don't carry a tremendous amount of value, they can now be utilized in more ways by us in the future.
Question 9. I have Lua that sets the schematics ID. What changes can I expect to see with the schematics update?
So yes, that will change with the new schematics. To explain a little grossly, the old schematics associated a schematic with a recipe. Now a schematic is associated with multiple recipes as a consumable of the recipe. So of course this will change the Lua API. The new API will no longer focus on recipe or schematic control, but will tell the industry directly what you are producing based on the ID of the item you want to produce. In addition, we are integrating more information into the item API to let you know what the schematics can produce and also to know which schematics you need to produce which item. Other additions have been made, but I will leave it as a surprise for you.
Question 10. I've always wondered, is there a limit to how far I can fly, or can I just go endlessly in one direction?
Well, there is a theoretical limit to how far you can fly in one direction. However, it is extremely unlikely that anyone will ever manage to reach it in this lifetime. For those of you who are interested and want to read up more, just Google double precision floating point numbers and imagine that 1 equals 1 meter in Dual Universe.
And that's it for this episode of Ask Aphelia. We wish to send thanks to everyone who listens in on these Q&As and for sending in your questions. Remember, you can submit your follow-up questions about what was discussed in this Q&A, as well as your Dual Universe gameplay questions by using the form in the description below. We look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, Novians, and thank you for being part of our universe.